Okay, welcome back to the AI Startup Lab podcast, the podcast where we're creating an AI company using AI and being a pretty normal Joe Schmo. So I'm Jordan Davis, I'm your normal Joe Schmo, and I wouldn't consider myself anything special. I've never started a company before. I am not a developer, and here I am in my basement attempting to create an AI company from scratch using AI, and I've taken you along for the journey. So since the last time I recorded, there's actually been some pretty fun and scary developments. I think as I looked at the checklist of items that I needed to do to create this company, to get started, getting started is usually the hardest part. And when I talk about getting started, a lot of times we look at getting started as I need to go read books. I need to go dive into a podcast, or I need to go interview a few people. And those are all good to some degree. At some point though, we're left with the choice that we need to actually do the tasks that will move the business forward. And many times those honestly are the scariest tasks. And today I definitely faced that. One thing that I've learned over the last few weeks is there's kind of a principle out there, which is a noise to signal ratio. And the signal being those tasks, those things that you should be listening to and doing that will actually move your business along, move the needle and help drive revenue. And noise being everything else, those things that distract you, the data, the things that pull you away and keep you from doing those tasks. So today I really tried to distill the most important tasks and put everything into a couple of different checklists. And Steve Jobs was actually excellent at this noise to signal ratio. They say that he was about an 80-20, 80% signal, 20% noise when he ran Apple. And I doubt most companies are that high. But I think as I look at this, I tend to be the type to let the distractions, let the easier tasks, the tasks where I'm not in front of people, in front of customers take over. And it adds some friction. And there's telltale signs when you're stalling. And I definitely experienced that today. So yeah, like I said, things really got real for me today. And a lot of what I did today and the tasks that I prioritized were inspired by a book. And I mentioned this, I think, on my last recording. But the book is The $1 Million Weekend. This is the journal that I printed out from the book by Noah Kagan. And honestly, it's a very shortcut way to start a business. His premise is starting a business in a weekend, $1 million business. And that's a very big ask. And it really, when you have such a short time period, you really have to distill things to the most important things. There's no time for fluff. So I took his advice and jumped in today, and I want to walk you through what that looked like for me. And I'll tell you this, there were many times I said that I was stalling, that I didn't want to actually do the tasks because it is scary. So to give you an idea, let me jump over to my computer here and I'll show you what was going on. Okay, let's dive in. So I'm in the book here, The $1 Million Weekend, in the chapter 5, which is the 48-hour money challenge. And it is a challenge. If you think about it, you're trying to validate your business by getting paid. And so it's kind of a crazy concept, but I think it's actually genius in the sense that if you go build something, you put in all this time and energy, and at the end of the day, nobody buys it, you've wasted so much money. And Noah's point here in his book is that most of us have a handful of people, and if we're trying to solve a problem, we should be able to contact at least a few people here to be able to sign up and actually pay for that service. So he gives some ideas here. These are some of the benefits here. You don't waste time. You're saving money because you're not actually going through this process of building and paying someone. You find out if you can actually get customers for your idea. So that's a huge challenge. How many businesses have failed after they built a software, built a service, and nobody signs up? And you get money up front. So it's great. I think from that perspective, it can be a great confidence booster that, hey, people are actually willing to purchase this. And this last one I experienced today, and it lights a fire under your butt to get you moving. His thing is, you've got your idea, go find 3 customers in 48 hours who will give you money for your idea. And this requires you to get out of your comfort zone if you're an introvert, even for some extroverts who want to have everything dialed, everything perfect. This is not that. You are essentially taking your message, taking your value proposition, solving the problem, and asking people to pay you for it. You only get 48 hours to get your first 3 customers, and you collect the money up front. So I love his point here. You're really not trying to invent demand. You're trying to see how excited people are about what you're helping them with. So I love it. I love it. In concept, you're like, yeah, that makes tons of sense. When you're actually doing it, it's tough. It is tough. So how did that go down for me? Honestly, I feel with Strive, I have a decent value proposition. I've thought up enough that I know the problem I'm trying to solve. And I've got a bunch of friends who I think would need the solution that I'm going to be building for my MVP. So I took this template from the $1 Million Weekend. This is one that Noah says, hey, one thing I realized is I'm busy all the time. He's kind of pitching meal prep. So I want to invite a few close friends to test a business idea. Consider yourself one of the lucky chosen few. And he pitches his idea about having home cooked meals through a personal chef. So if you're interested, go ahead and pay me $20. He probably has not figured out who the chef is at this point, but he's like, pay me $20 and then I'll figure it out. And it's great. It really is great. So what did I do? So I basically took exactly what he wrote and scripted it in a way that modeled the format. First thing you want to do is just outline the pain. One thing I've realized is that money can be a wedge for couples when it should be. And I didn't have the words perfectly for how I wanted to describe it, but I just needed to get something on paper. So I put this in brackets. It should be something that gets you to get you excited about and help you live your dreams. Don't worry about wordsmithing it at this point. Get something on paper. I want to invite a few close friends to test a business idea with me. Consider yourself one of the lucky chosen few. And then I put a deadline. Man, this is hard. So this was about a month out from today. Today is September 1st. And I'm going, okay, thinking backwards, how long would it take for me to get an MVP up and running it? And part of me is like, oh, you need at least 3 months, maybe 6. And I said, no, it's got to be 30 days. And I already doubled down. That was part of the reason why I'm working on it today. It's a new month. I love the month of September. It's a great time for change. You got the leaves changing in the mountains. The seasons are starting to change here in Utah where I live. And it's a great opportunity to get things going. So I gave myself a 30-day deadline and I'm sweating already, just putting it on paper. On October 1st, Strive AI will be born. And again, I didn't know kind of what to call it here. I didn't want it to be too stuffy. And it's an AI financial friend coach. Don't worry about the wordsmithing right now. That will guide you and your spouse through a few discussions to generate your family's financial blueprint. I didn't love that either. But again, just get it out there, the basics of the message is. If this is something you're serious in, please Venmo me $25. And now I'm thinking, oh man, I'm taking money from people. If they give me money and it's only $25, people will pay $25. But if I start collecting money and I don't do anything, especially when it's friends and family, you've got to give some value back. Even if they're just giving it out of generosity, hey, I know you got to add the value there. So I think the getting paid aspect, it would be so much easier just to say, hey, are you interested in trying out and being a validation partner for my software? And they might say, sure. But when you have a transaction where somebody's giving you money and you're taking that, there has to be an exchange and it holds you accountable. Open to any and all feedback. Cheers. P.S. I'm building this company in public. YouTube channel should be live soon if you want to follow the progress. Hopefully we get this posted soon and I can blast that out to my friends and they can watch. So I ran this through ChatGPT a couple times. It was too starchy. I liked the content. It was good, but it was too long. I was hoping to send this in a text. Third version, I asked, hey, don't make it sound like a person wrote it, not AI. It did an okay job there. And I kind of put my own spin on it again, added my Venmo. And then I like this prompt. If you ever use ChatGPT or some of the AI tools out there, this is a really powerful prompt. If you have something, because usually I just put it in, I used to say, make this better. But if you actually tell it to make it 100 times better, you'd be surprised. It actually does a fairly good job. So yeah, so it added this, and it felt like an email still. So I asked it, hey, go ahead and just make it a super short blast. That was almost too short. Didn't kind of explain what I was doing. So I ended up adding some personal touches again, and version 8 with spacing, so it would drop into my text thread is kind of where I landed here. So again, the key elements are define the plan or define the pain that you have. This is kind of just a small talk. Hey, I'd sometimes drop in there because I know these people personally. I'll drop in there something about their family. And they know that I've been talking for years, some of them, about starting a business. And I'm like, today's the day. I got to do it. So then I outlined the pain. Hopefully they feel the pain. And in many cases, I told them, hey, I'm not targeting you because I think you need this. I'm guessing that you and your spouse are already doing this really well and may not need it, but I'd love to have you kick the tires. So October 1st is the day, and kind of walks them through what it is. Just a short conversational tool that helps you create your own family money alignment plan. And then the invite, the call to action. So I'm inviting a few friends to try it early to help me kick the tires. It's $25, Venmo me here. And mainly just so people can take it seriously. And I probably put too much explanation in here, but if you're taking money from someone, I wanted to be clear that I don't actually need the money to build the business, but there's 3 main aspects. 1, I want to make sure they take it seriously and that I take it seriously. Number 2, to see if it's something people pay for. And this is probably on the fence. When you're talking to friends, they're going to pay you anyway if you know them well enough. And then lastly, it's honestly to keep me committed and driving to deliver now that I've received money. So if you're in, send the money my way and I'll lock it in. And any feedback is gold. So I sent this out to about 20 of my friends and family members. And the money started to trickle in. And I started to sweat. And let me tell you, before I actually hit the send button, there was a lot of, what's the word? Noise. Let's go back to the noise versus the signal. I ended up pacing back and forth. I'm like, okay, what else do I need to tweak? I mean, this is 8 versions in. I'm overthinking it. It's obvious. I go to the bathroom and I'm like, oh, the toilet, it needs to be cleaned. Let's clean the toilet. So I clean the toilet. Doing all these sorts of these things. And I'm even looking, when I'm in the bathroom there, I have a little cold plunge that's sitting in the shower. It needs to be cleaned out. Oh, a cold plunge would feel great today. I should do a cold plunge. You know that you're stalling really bad when you would rather get in 50-degree water and do a cold plunge than send and do the actual thing you need to do. So I love bringing you along for this journey because I think all of us, or a lot of us, probably experience this. When we don't want to do something, sometimes that's the biggest indication that you're on the right track. And it may mean that that's not your personality. You're some of us are very comfortable doing certain tasks, and others are not as comfortable. Some people are great and they'll go talk to people all day, ask for money, not a big deal, but then they'll turn around and they may not be as comfortable with the technical aspects and they may stall at that point. There's a great book out there called Who Not How by Benjamin Hardy. I definitely recommend that. And in that book, they talk about when you are stalling, when you're procrastinating, typically it's because it's not your strength. And it's something that you should find somebody else to help with. Now, obviously, this is a startup. I'm not going to go find somebody and pay somebody to send a few messages to my buddies. But eventually, I may outsource this sales aspect, the marketing aspect to somebody else that does it a little bit better. So that's where we're at. So I send these messages out. And again, this was a few hours ago. I woke up early this morning. I was excited. And here are some of the results. So I sent it out to it was 19 people or so. And then I ended up sending it out to a group me chat with some buddies that I play disc golf with. And a few of them signed up as well. So of all the people that I text directly, we're looking at about a 50% conversion rate. And every time a new one of these comes in, I'm sweating. And it's great. It's a great feeling because it's going to help me get the job done. So a quick recap on the math for how many have signed up here. So if we're doing quick math on where the business at, 9 times 25, $225 today. Basically all profit. I mean, I'm the only employee. I'm not paying myself. And if we look at the goal, this is a great example here. I'll show this. Hopefully it comes up a little bit in the camera because it's blurred. But I was trying to, within Noah's book, he has the law of 100 and a chart of 100 boxes. And he said, if you do something 100 times, you upload 100 videos to YouTube, whatever it is, you are going to become a lot better and things are inevitably going to do better. So I put on here the law of 100. I need to find 100 paying customers by December 31st, 2025. So put a deadline on there, and we're 9 customers in. But again, the stalling aspect, I wanted everything to be perfect. I went out to the internet to try and find a nice template where I could print it and stick it on the wall and make it pretty. And I went and I thought to myself, no, this is noise. And because you get on there and you click through Pinterest and none of them are actually free that you can print. So I took out one of my pieces of paper and I drew 100 circles and I'm putting check boxes in them. And if I need this, it's nice to have, but don't get stuck in the noise. So $225 for the day, and on my way to $20,000 in subscription costs, which this was a one-time for now until I can get this built out and hopefully add some ongoing value to these folks. But I'm excited because it is a start. It's a start, and a lot of times we just got to get started. That's kind of today's the main thing today is just get started. Make sure that you are not procrastinating and that you're actually doing the work that will move the needle, and that you have your signal and that you're listening to the signal and you're doing those tasks that are on your signal list and not your noise list. And don't be afraid when you get paid. It's going to light a fire under you, but that's what's going to help you to take it to the next level. So what are you going to do? I'd love to hear success stories in the comments here about folks who saw this video and they said, I was in the same boat and it's time. There's no time like the present. I started at the beginning of a month. Really, I've been kicking the can for months and months. And at some point you just have to say enough is enough. Today's the day.